Clay here with Live It on the Outside YouTube channel, and for the next 2 days we're going to be hiking, camping, fishing, and searching for the Missouri's wild horses.
$3.
Great.
Ooh, yeah.
What do you know? We're in my county.
Missouri. Well, I'm getting a little hungry, so I'm gonna pull over and make myself a sandwich.
That's just mozzarella cheese with a onion and garlic bread on it. Good.
We just entered Eminence, Missouri. It's really pretty up here. Just mailed a letter back home and asked for directions, and they said the best spot to see the wild horses is gonna be Shawnee Creek at the first bridge. If it's not that, it'll be on down towards Echo Bluffs, but sounds like the best shot we got is Shawnee Creek. We just went a little past it, that's all. They said you gotta turn in you can't turn in right where the sign is. You gotta go past the guardrail. Turn in the first one, you go up somebody's driveway. So in the south, that's a hang and a fence. This is Shawnee Creek. We're going to do a week-long cross-country trail ride here. It's pretty neat. You have to bring your own horse. If I remember correctly, they were in this field. Alright. Here horses down here, but they may be trail horses. Yeah, the trail horses. You can see them right behind me. They're doing a trail ride, looks like. Here's what we're looking for. It's horse scat. Been kind of following the horse trail here. You see this horse trail fit out pretty deeply. With those horse riders there, they might have spooked the horses off too. Oh, that's pretty. These aren't truly wild horses, they're feral horses. They've been feral for almost 100 years. But there should be about 10 mares, stallion, and a gelding in this herd. Here's a normal horse trail. That's for some trail riders. How y'all doing? Fine. Are y'all seeing the horses?
We rode to the back and didn't see them unless they're in the woods back there.
Yes, sir. Y'all were down there, you didn't see them, and then I heard y'all down by the river.
We rode
pretty horses.
We'll go this way, and if they're in the woods over there, we'll let out a big yell.
Okay, I appreciate it. They say that during the Great Depression that the farmers couldn't afford to keep their horses anymore, and so they turned them loose. According to a local around here, he said that a herd of 7 fillies started the herd. That's pretty. And then there's an Appaloosa stallion that couldn't be broken by his owner, and he broke loose. That's why most of them are white, and pretty good mixture of them. They're born dark, but then as they get older, they turn white. Looks like they might have bedded down right here, possibly. I'm not Kit Carson, but yeah, those grass tips have been chomped down for a while. You hear that? Pileated woodpecker. There's a creek. Should be an ideal place for them. But no wild horses. No wild horses. That's a black walnut. They're edible. Black outer shell needs to be broken off. Then you let them dry for a pretty good time. After that, you crack them open and eat them. It's just regular maple. This far south, you can't really get maple syrup out of them, but some people do. You can get a permit and harvest maple syrup in Missouri. We might move to a different herd. There's 3 or 4 herds around here. This one, Shawnee Creek herd, and there's a Broadfoot herd. If I was a horse, where would I be? You know, horses are really amazing animals. I'm a creationist, or young earth creationist, which means that I believe that God created the world 6,000 years ago in 6 literal days. I don't believe in evolution or millions of years. But the horse evolution has often been touted, and it's still in the textbooks, as being a clear transitional fossils, you know. When you look closely at the fossils, what they say they have is a Eohippus. It was supposedly one of the first of the horse kind. It was found by Robert Owen. It was in the 1800s, but he first named it Hyracotherium because it was more like the modern coney. That's like a rabbit. I'm gonna turn down this way, see if they're down there by the river. And when you look at the fossils, it is closer to a coney. I don't believe there's enough evidence to say that it was a horse. I brought my photography camera. It's a Panasonic Lumix GX8. It's a pretty good camera, especially for photography. Got a 45 to 175 millimeter zoom lens, but it is a micro 4/3, so it's a crop sensor. It's not full frame. But my sister and I just finished filming an entire feature film with this and its sister camera, the Panasonic Lumix GX7. And if you want to check that out, I actually got a card right here. You can go to thisgeneration.net. I'll link it in the description below. My sister and I are the only 2 actors. We played 42 roles. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I think it pretty much says they're not in this field. But we'll see about somewhere else. Well, we didn't see them there, but they can also be at Round Spring, and that's a real pretty area. It's kind of tucked away, so I think we'll be headed towards Round Spring. Also, another reason we know it wasn't kin to the horse is that Eohippus has 3 toes, and 3-toed and single-toed species are both found in the same rock formation, so the same fossil layer. You know, it would have been at the same time, so it wouldn't have evolved. Look at my map to find Round Spring. I have to use a map because I use a flip phone. That's also going towards Echo Bluffs. If we don't see them in one spot, we can hopefully find them in another. Round Spring. Oh, it's pretty back here. See the bridge behind me. How y'all doing? You can see the blue water. I don't know, they just paved that road back there, so looks like that's pretty fresh pavement. Oh, they might have spooked off the horses if they're here. They do a really good job of upkeeping their trails here. Wow. They say that this is deep enough for the Statue of Liberty to fit into. Look, 4-leaf clover. I definitely don't believe in luck. Found a 4-leaf clover and got skunked twice trying to find the horses. Sinking Creek. Remind me not to go canoeing on that. Echo Bluff State Park. Alright, the lady at the visitor center said they're down here. It's supposed to be down in here somewhere. There they are. I can see them there. Right there. Oh, they're pretty. They see me too. Let's see if I can get a little closer. Looks like there's 3 of them. No, there's 4 of them. Get lower and you act like you ain't looking at them. I caught a fawn that way once. It's beautiful. Not too scared of it. There they are. Wild horses of Missouri. Yeah, they're pretty calm and easy going. Either that or I found some loose trail horses. Horses can see in almost 360 degrees. They just can't see directly behind them
or directly in front of them. And they can rotate their ears 180 degrees. So it makes them pretty hard to sneak up on. As you can tell, they've already spotted me. It's like 3 fillies and a stallion. The stallion's got his eye on me. Let's see if I can get around to the back way. I used to fence for a living, and I have bushwhacked through many a mile. You gotta watch out for copperheads and rattlesnakes. Other than that, you're okay. As long as I don't get the tick fever. Let's see if we can sneak up behind them so I can get this camera a little bit closer. Oh, they're pretty. Rattlesnake and copperhead country right here.
The neatest thing ever. They're wild, but they're used to people. That's the stallion. Well, I ran out of battery on the GoPro. When I tried to pull my GoPro battery tab out, the tab pulled out, so I'll have to dig it out with something. Anyway, but thankfully I have my camera. Oh, what a blessing. Oh, there's some pretty horses. After destroying one battery with one razor blade, I got it going again. Well, it is 1 o'clock and I'm starving to death. Now that we found the horses, I'm gonna find a good place to stop and eat. Well, it took a little while, but I finally found a Missouri fishing guidebook. Johnson Shut-Ins. Alright, here we are at Johnson Shut-In State Park. From what I'm seeing, I don't think you can camp at Johnson Shut-Ins, but you can camp on the Ozark Trail. This is just a holler away from the Johnson Shut-Ins back trail. So, just gotta find a map before I get there. Here we are at Johnson Shut-Ins. Hopefully. Oh, before I forget, be sure to check out my exhaustive guide on ultralight camping. Frees up every trip. Well, it wasn't a completely exhaustive guide. It was just a guide. Shut-Ins trailhead. Almost a mile. Huh. A little farther than I expected. I should have done this in 2 trips. Well, I've run into some unforeseen circumstances. This is what I'm carrying, along with this pack, my GoPro equipment, and those are the unforeseen hazards. I think this elevation is getting to me. Going up like 50 feet. I'm already feeling it. Must be the elevation. I think I just broke the record for the most stuff lugged on one overnight camping trip. I think tomorrow, if I wake up in the morning, I am going to carry this in stages. One backpack, another backpack. Aside from all this, both of my shoes have become untied, but I'm not about to bend over and tie them back up. I have not seen this many stairs since we toured Blanchard Springs Caverns when I was this tall. I think I'm gonna carry these in stages.
I've never understood why YouTubers do that. They just gotta come back and pick up the camera. You'd bad to find out that I wasn't actually filming. Straight stretch. But, like the idiot YouTuber I am, I'll set it up again. How did they do it to show just how hard that was? I don't know. Done with the stairs. Now tell me this was done on purpose. That is pretty. Well, I made a wrong turn somewhere. But this is not the Ozark Trail, and this doesn't connect to the Ozark Trail. Yep. Here we go again. Question is, should I make it in one trip? Or should I make it in 2 trips? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Of course, by then it'll be too late. They're closed. I can't ask directions. Thinking about a campsite tonight. Alright. So evidently I'm on the wrong side of the park. That was quite the walk. A couple of teachers back there. Lord bless them. They're gonna watch my stuff. They gotta stay there anyway. While I go back and get the car, which I could have driven down here in the first place, but I didn't know that. It's a bit farther back than I expected. That little bend right there, that's from hikers over the years. Boom, boom, boom. That's one of that tree. There's a bow in it, I think. Oh, there's the car. It's 4:15. I gotta get camp set up. See that pink granite? We're going tomorrow. It's Elephant Rock State Park. They're big 600-ton boulders made out of pink granite. That ought to be pretty neat. Oh, keys. Keys, where are my keys? Oh, come on, keys. Oh, there you are. Nice keys. Oh, hurt. Look at my stuff. Alright. Plan B. Y'all have any drive-up campsites? I appreciate it. Thank you. So that's where we are now. This is where I just hiked from. It's coming around this all the way down. That's this Shut-ins Trail, Horseshoe Glade Trail. Shut-ins, this is the boardwalk here. And then stairs started right here. And I think that's right about here is where I ended up stopping. Oh, my shoulders are killing me. My pack was too heavy and the stairs were too steep. Plan B. Let's see if it works. Next time I go ultralight, I'm taking out a few things. Oh. We're hiking back that way a little bit. Oh, that's pretty. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. Putting this pack on. Pack back on. Putting this pack back on. That's the name. That's why they call it a pack. Backpack back on. Anyway, putting this thing back on these aching shoulders, like enough to kill you. That is home for the night. I got 503. That's not home for tonight. Gotta go a little further. I'm gonna stow my gear and then go back and get the rest of it. I broke some kind of record, I'm telling you. I packed in the most gear for any one night camping trip of anybody on YouTube.
Whoa. Alright, second load. Let's get camp set up. Now I was gonna bring my $4,000 9/32 of an ounce ultralight tent, but I thought, hey, save 9/32. I don't know, maybe just throw in a couple of these military half shelters. That would be light. Got a wool blanket here too. The nice thing about these military half shelters is they just snap together. You just take it, snap it on this side, snap it on this side, and go down the line. Camp for the night. Get the fire started. Usually the best thing for it, you can find yourself a cedar tree like this one. Anything dead on it, it'll start up better than anything I know. But you gotta get the real dry stuff, as long as it just kind of breaks off in your hand. Cedar's about the best thing for burning there is. Anytime you find wood that's like that and it's dead and it's been on the ground for a long time, it's not good for burning. It'll burn, but sorry to get all the BTU value stripped out of it. Standing dead wood's best. Right there. Alright, now to get it down. I like these Tremontina machetes, and I've hacked through many a mile of underbrush and trees just with a Tremontina. It's Brazilian made. Was a white oak when it was alive. Now it's dead, so it's firewood. White oak is pretty good for burning. Leaves aren't the best for starting fires with, but they do work in a pinch. I'm also adding some of this jute rope. You just cut you off some and get it all frayed up. That way it catches a spark a little easier. You run it in there, and you get your ferro rod. And just in case you're wondering how sure I am that this is going to work, just about that sure. There it goes. Get us some supper going. And I'm gonna have to find a signal, because I gotta tell the folks back home we had to change the plans, because they have the coordinates I'm camping back somewhere else. I'm really here, so keep them posted. Good bed of coals started. Set that over the fire to sterilize it. Small bowl. I'll make some chicken fried ground beef. About a cup of dry breadcrumbs. A little bit of flour, not much. A little bit less than a quarter cup in it. Salt and pepper to taste. About a cup of milk. And beat it up. This is our homemade ground beef. We raise our own cows. Completely pasture raised, 100% organic ground beef. Alright. Just take it, roll it into balls, put it in there, throw it in there, rail it around. So I went ahead and poured the rest of the powder and a little bit of meat and half the egg mixture. I'll mix that around. See if that turns into anything good. Ouch! Hot, hot, ouch! I might just eat out tonight. Aren't half bad. starting to get late. I need to find a phone reception because I've got to tell the folks that I changed locations. So, all right, we got our signal and we got the message in. So, we can now go back and finish out this camping trip. Make sure we didn't get any guests at our campsite while we were gone. This might not be the most comfortable sleep system in the world, but with what we have to work with, as late as it is, and worn out as I am, I think it's gonna work out pretty well. Oh, thank the Lord, I think we might get some sleep tonight anyway. If you ever find yourself in this position, being 6'3" in a 4-foot tent, if you have a long enough blanket, fold it over your feet first, and then grab this tail, flip it over it. That way your feet don't pop out so quickly, and helps a little bit anyway. I'm gonna put this down, and I will see you in the morning, hopefully. Hey, good night. Well, in the middle of the night, the temperature's starting to drop. So, brought these hand warmers. It's not supposed to get that cold, but I've only got one little blanket, and I'm sleeping on this boardwalk. It's got holes, slits in it. Just letting all the cold air in. There's something on the boardwalk with me. Something small, but it's there. I don't know what it was. Heard something scurry off when I bumped into the tent. Those coyotes howling. Good morning. Oh. Ouch. Probably slept upwards to about an hour last night. Units scattered throughout the night, mostly in between 1 and 2 o'clock. Oh, it started getting cold. It wasn't that bad, but it did get down to 45 with one really thin wool blanket. You at least knew it was cold out there. Anyway, I think I'm gonna head back to the car and get the ingredients, and I'll get some breakfast going here shortly. Oh, one. Alright, getting the food hauled back. There he goes. Gathering wood always reminds me of Paul shaking the snake off into the fire on the island of Malta. Potable drinking water, or fresh water, but I'm gonna boil it all the same because I don't feel like being sick. We drink a lot of hot tea. It's just Earl Grey black tea. I got addicted to hot tea when I was about 3 years old. The NASB. This is actually the MacArthur Study Bible. Fingers are so cold I can't turn the pages. I'm still seeking the Lord on whether or not this YouTube channel is the route He wants me to go. I felt like it was at one point, and then I'm just rethinking it, making sure it's not something I pushed ahead with. If it's His will, I want it to honor Him. Yeah, I do want to go on adventures and things, but I also want to make sure that time is not being wasted. Romans 8:9, it says that he that hath not the Spirit of God is none of His. If you're a Christian, you agree that it's important to have the Spirit of God in us. But how do you receive that Spirit? I struggled with it for a lot of years. I mean, it's something a lot of people struggle with. It says, when the day of Pentecost had come, they were all together in one place. And suddenly there came from heaven a noise like a violent rushing wind, and it filled the whole house where they were sitting. And there appeared to them tongues as of fire distributing themselves, and they rested on each one of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit, and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit was now giving them utterance. Then all the people in Jerusalem gathered together, and when they found out that they had just crucified the Christ, they asked Peter, said, "What should we do?" He said, "Repent, even each of you be baptized for the forgiveness of sins, and ye shall receive the gift of the Holy Spirit." And these first two are commandments of God, just like, "Thou shalt not murder,
thou shalt not commit adultery. But receiving the Holy Spirit is a promise. That's what God does to fulfill the contract. You know, in the beginning, when Adam and Eve, God placed Adam and Eve into the Garden of Eden, He gave them command to eat of any of the trees except for one, and they ate of that. And in order to be forgiven of that sin, since the law of sin and death is a death-binding oath, something had to die, and that something was an innocent lamb. Corresponding to that, you know, Jesus is our pure and innocent lamb, that He who had no curse became a curse for us. You know, so God took on that curse for us. So now we're under a new dispensation of grace. But that doesn't mean that there are no more commandments, such as don't commit adultery, you know, and don't murder. He who hates his brother is the same as a murderer. So there are these commandments that will keep us out of heaven. It says that no liar will enter the kingdom of heaven. If you think about the parable of the 10 talents, you know, all 3 of those slaves were his slaves. I mean, they were, in essence, they were Christians. You know, the people that were the people of the world were the ones that sent the delegation after him, telling him that we don't want this man to reign as king over us. But the one that didn't invest his talent, he was cast into outer hell because he didn't do what he was commanded. God gave him a clear commandment: invest this till I come back, and he didn't. And he paid the consequences. If you think about just how important it is and just how much time can be wasted, if you lost something very important to you and you wanted help to find it, and then a friend of yours was at a gas pump and saw it laying on the ground, but they didn't pick it up. I mean, how much more? I mean, our souls. I mean, it's just, we are here to save souls. I mean, we're here to change lives, and they're all given a chance. But what if we're that chance, and we are ashamed to broach a subject of the gospel across a gas pump? And so that's what Live It on the Outside is all about. We've got to live it on the outside. I mean, we can't just keep this inside. I mean, God is in this book. Not just in the words, not just in the ink, but God is behind the words, behind the pages. He's drawing you out. I mean, He's drawing every single person. We can deny it. We can try and forget it. We can get distracted. But He is drawing you. And in the quiet times, I'm sure you know that. But anyway, I'm hungry, and I want to go to Elephant Rocks, and I don't even know what time it is. I've been talking for a long time. Make sure there are no holes in the bottom. Don't try this at home, kids. Your mom would probably kill me. Yeah, I got some steel cut oats. Already got the salt and sugar mixed up in there. They're steel cut oats, they're not rolled oats. I don't care much for rolled oats, but they're good. If you like them, don't get offended. I like rolled oats too, okay? But these are steel cut oats. There's a difference. These are Mountain Man oats. Already eaten 1 meal stuck to the bottom of a pan. I ain't in the mood for 2 meals stuck to the bottom of pans. This thing needs my sock. A little bit of hardtack here. Usually make some up every now and again. That'll scare off any bears. Ooh, that was a used sock. Mixed in. A little campfire flavored, but not too bad. Salt. Alright, one last look around camp, make sure we didn't lose anything. And for sentimental reasons, gonna miss the old camp. Trauma bonding. It happens fast in the wilderness. Alright, we're leaving camp. We're headed to Elephant Rocks.
At the roundabout, take the second exit to Highway MM.
I will do it. Park opens at 8 a.m. Well, Here we are, Elephant Rock State Park. That's pretty neat. Can get up to 600 tons and up to 20 feet tall. You have to watch these lichens because they're real slow growing. It helps cut down on the erosion of the rocks. So they ask that you watch out and don't mess up the lichen. But man, that is neat. Well, yeah. This is the neatest thing. Back in the early 1840s, they started quarrying out this pink granite. There's a quarry back there still. And that's why Granite City, the city was named because of that. But some of the rocks went to pave the streets in St. Louis, and the rock can still be found from the 1840s quarrying at Leuclide's Landing, if I'm pronouncing that right. Piers for Eads Bridge and columns at the governor's mansion in Jefferson City. This is really neat. Oh, look up, just rocks out of nowhere. It's like something you'd see on a Western movie or something.
Hickory Smoke, this is Sheriff Cole speaking. Give yourself up.
Sheriff Cole, you might be the slowest hound in the valley. I'm gonna barbecue you up here. You better do what he says. We're gonna blast the alligator.
Jaws fire, Sam. I've got an idea.
Be careful, Sheriff. He's dangerous.
Check it out. You can still see where they would drive their spikes. I don't know if this is how they did this rock in particular. I know this is how they used to do them. They drive in a spike down this hole, and this is just the edge of the rod. They shove their dynamite down in there, and this whole thing would blast off, and they'd cab it off. And that's how they would get it off into these square blocks. They'd haul it off, build a column or something out of it. What the Egyptians would have given for dynamite. According to evolution, these formed slowly when hot molten rock or lava bubbled up to the surface, or to the Earth's crust, and cooled off. Then the Ozark Plateau upwarped, shoving these rocks up, and then streams came in and would cut them down. That's why you would see these natural fissures. You know, some of it, like back there, is due to dynamite, but like this, you can see this rounded area, some natural curvature to it, which evolution says would be done by streams, which I do believe it would be done by water, because water is the best cataclysmic structure for changing rock. From a creationist point of view, these would have probably been formed on day 3 of creation week, and then during Noah's flood, they would have been pushed up due to tectonic plates. When the Ozark Mountains were pushed up, these would have been pushed up with them to a degree because of the subduction of the tectonic plates on would be the east coast, which would be the same cataclysmic mechanism that formed the Ozark Mountains. But this would have been done about mid-flood, and then as the floodwaters receded, it would have shaved off the top of the Ozark Mountains, and they would have drained through and cut out these natural fissures. You know, like evolution would have said, it would be through the natural cracks. But the floodwaters would have done the same. And you can tell how immediate flood can do that because of the Little Grand Canyon at Mount St. Helens. It was formed in, I think, 7 days, and it was I'm gonna get this wrong, I want to say 1/40th the size of the Grand Canyon. And it was done in 7 days just from a mud flow. We know by observational science that these things can happen quickly through mass floods. Ooh, look at that. Pretty. If you want to learn more about how the mountains and things formed, there's a great video by Dale Tackett. It's called Mountains After the Flood. It's his I think it's his third sequel to his Genesis history. It's a great video, you want to check it out. Oh, persimmons. If these aren't ripe, they will pucker you up. That's good. Oh man, I haven't had a persimmon in years.
Water, way up here. It's like a little lake. Way up here. That was fun. I've never been here, but I would sure like to be back. Let's do some fishing. We're in Pocahontas, Arkansas. I'm gonna try out the Black River. I've never fished the Black River yet. I'm not a expert fisherman. That's usually catches everything I catch. See if this thing does anything. Ah, if only I knew what it is. Smallmouth bass, I believe, or whatever it is. It's small, but we're not skunked. We got one. That's my first fish ever to catch out of a river. What do you know? Alright, after fishing various spots, I cannot catch any more fish. It was also getting late, and I've still got about an hour to drive home. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop us a comment in below. I'd sure appreciate it. Just getting this started, so comments do help. Likes, share, subscribe, and I will, Lord willing, see you in the next one. And remember, if I can do this, so can you. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell.